Hi, this is Paul Evans, CEO of Nicheology and the founder of the Profits Academy. This is the income initiative, what it really takes to get here. This is the type of picture that's used over and over again online, promises of riches, of wealth, of really making it, and yet the failure rate online is astronomical. Some would say that it's very similar to offline businesses, that 95% of all online businesses that start fail. I would say that that might be a little bit low. There's hardly anyone who starts a business online that makes it. Now, I'm not trying to be negative, not trying to be cynical, but the truth is most people are not starting a business at all. They're looking for an out. Maybe they're desperate. They want to get out of their job. They feel like if I can just make some extra money or if I could get out of the rat race, then everything would be okay. And basically, they're coming online with an employee mentality in hopes of making it big. By far, most people say, I want to learn for free. I don't want to spend much money. I don't have much money to spend. It's exactly opposite of what happens when a real business is started. You never hear anybody say, I want to start a restaurant, but I don't have any money and I don't want to get a loan. Listen, I want to open up a brand new retail center in the hottest area of town, but I don't want to sign a lease. I don't want to pay monthly rent. And I certainly do not want to have to do anything that I'm not guaranteed a profit from. You'd never think that way offline, but online, that's precisely what is sold. And so with the Income Initiative, I want to share a couple of things with you, but I want to begin, first of all, by thanking my wife who encouraged me years ago to pursue dreams. A lot of the things that I share in this recording are things that might sound a little bit cynical, might sound like I'm trying to talk you out of doing business online, but I'm really not trying to do that, but instead I want to be a realist. But at the same time, I understand how important it is to pursue the dream, and I've been allowed to pursue my dreams and at the same time allowed to really focus in with drive, with big work ethic in order to achieve the things that I've achieved. Nicheology.com, this is our mission, to educate 10 million people about online business, to equip 1 million lifestyle entrepreneurs, and to establish 25,000 members in business. And what you're watching right now is that first line, educate 10 million about online business. And after you've watched this video, I want you to make a decision whether you want to go forward with online business or whether you want to stay exactly where you are. One of the things that I want to challenge you not to do is to end up in the same cycle of the vast majority. And I would say this is 98 to 99% of people online continue buying products, quote, trying things, but they never complete a complete product, never go all the way through it and really put it in play. But instead, they're always going on to the next thing that they believe will magically make them money. So what I want to do is educate you about business. I opened my first business at the age of 20. That was now 23 years ago. I've had up to 6 businesses in operation at one time, and these are offline businesses. In 1997, I began my first online business. That company is still operating today and still thriving today. So I'm coming to you from a business background, not from a scam background or an angle background or hoping to talk you into a belief. And that's what happens a lot of the time online. People are trying to convince you that whatever you're reading on the page and whatever video you're watching, that it is the answer. And if you'll just part with your money, then all of your wildest dreams can come true. Well, that's why this video is free, and the equipping of 1 million is free as well. Only after that, maybe you want to take your business to the next level. Maybe you really feel like this is for me. I'm going to escape the rat race, and at that time, you may make the decision to join Nicheology, where we actually give you the hosting and set your first online business up for you, absolutely as part of the membership. Here's a universal maxim from Immanuel Kant. Resolve to behave as though your every act were to become a universal law for all people. Think about that. This to me is an anchor of business. that the way that we're behaving, the way that we want to conduct business is the way that we would want everyone to match us, to do business like us. And you think about the number of products out there online, perhaps that you've bought and even I've bought in the past, that I don't want to do business like that. I don't think it's honest. I don't think it's ethical. I don't think it's filled with integrity. We've got to design our business in a way that other people will look at and want to match. We want to resolve to behave as though our every act were to become a universal law for all people. The things that we do in business, especially online, that we're not afraid for anybody to see our business practices and then to assume those for themselves. Well, with the Income Initiative, I want to talk to you about Gullible's Travels and the Business MBA. All right, first of all, Gullible's Travels. And we know of Gulliver, where he got roped down by the Lilliputians and he was subdued. Well, we often get subdued when we are wanting to get that first business started online. And sometimes it becomes a cycle. I've known people to work online up to 5 years and never have anything real to show for it. I know people who have spent hundreds of dollars, thousands, tens of thousands, and I've even known a few to spend over $100,000 trying to get their business up and running, and they still don't have a business up and running. Why? Because we all have something within us, within our wiring, that makes us a little bit gullible, makes us want to believe in a lot of the promises that we read online. I'll admit that I'm gullible. I remember the first opportunity ad that I ever responded to. I was about 14 years old. I remember seeing a small classified ad in the back of a newspaper that said you can make thousands of dollars a month stuffing envelopes. Perhaps you've seen some of those ads. It said, please send $10 for the complete step-by-step system. I sent in, as a 14-year-old, I sent in $10. Can you believe that? Sent it in, and I got my, quote, package back. The cover letter said, I thank you so much for making your $10 investment. Your life is about to change. A lot of that type of encouragement type of writing. Here's the step-by-step process. Enclosed, you will find a letter. And on this letter, it tells people to do exactly what you have just experienced. What you want to do is take this letter and copy it and return it in the envelope to the person who sends you $10, just like you sent me $10. And basically what they were saying was that I would start my own classified ad that would say earn thousands of dollars a month, stuffing envelopes, and I would then send those individuals the exact same package that I just received. In other words, I would be receiving $10 from every person who responded to my ad. I would then send to them the exact same package that I got to begin with that said, hey, here is a letter telling you how great you are, what a great decision you made. And on this second page, you'll have the step-by-step instructions, which tells you basically to take this entire package, photocopy it, and send it to the people who respond to your classified ad. Now, I remember being so angry, feeling like it was so unfair and it was so not right. I mean, I wasn't at that time thinking unethical and a lack of integrity. Those don't run around in the minds of the 14-year-old, but I knew I'd been ripped off. I knew that this was not real business, and I knew that I had been scammed. And I also knew that I was not going to be setting up any classified ads, and I wasn't going to copy all of this material I received and then forward it to the next gullible traveler. And so we're all susceptible to that. We're all susceptible into believing that there's something out there that really is the shortcut, something that will really make us a lot of money quickly without a lot of effort. But deep down at the same time, if we're logical, we know that's not true. You don't really see that in life. You don't see that, quote, in the real world. And so we've got to be careful and we've got to guard ourselves. So I want to give you 3 things in Gullible's Travels just to protect your heart before we get to the Business MBA. Number 1 is market manipulation. This is a standard practice online, and you'll see a lot of inflated income statements online. You'll see things like this. Now, notice this: wave goodbye to old and outdated traffic solutions. MSN. Google. Would you say Google's outdated and old? Really? Yahoo? SEO? Really? Is search engine optimization gone? And it says underneath they flat out don't work or take too long to get results. Every one of the things that I see right there do work. I've used all of them, and I've been very successful with them. So what's the deal? Most of these look fairly confusing. Most of us look at these items and we feel like Google AdWords, if you don't already know how to use it, it seems like there's a learning curve there. Twitter seems like it's more of a joke than a real business tool. Pay-per-view, what's that mean? And that's something that's on the cable stations. Joint ventures, I can't get anybody to actually go out there and represent my product. So it's manipulation. It's trying to frame things so that the average person believes they don't have a chance unless they buy this product from the individual who's going to rescue them from all the old and outdated traffic stuff into this new world of some angled, massive traffic that nobody really knows about, and somehow they found a loophole. Well, it's crazy. And when I state it like that, we know it's crazy. But in the middle of reading that sales page or watching that video, it seems possible. Don't be gullible. Number 2, sales seduction. I stripped this from a page. You don't need experience. You don't need a product. You don't need any technical skills. You don't need any money. It's all free. You don't need heaps of time. It's fast. You don't need to know anything about pay-per-click, pay-per-view, banners, or any paid traffic method. You don't need to know anything about Facebook, Twitter, or writing articles. And this is just a portion of the list. There was a lot more to the list. All right? Basically, what this individual is saying is you can be an idiot. You can have no skill set whatsoever, and you can make a lot of money. This is one of the big seductive moves online because the average person online knows, or the average salesman online knows that the average person online is insecure, that they don't really know a lot of technology. And listen, to those who decide after this video they want to take the next step, I teach you for free. I'm equipping 1 million lifestyle entrepreneurs. You can learn every single technical aspect that you need to operate a successful online business. I'm going to teach that to you absolutely free and step by step. There's no strings to that. You can absolutely learn this. Listen, most of us went to school for something like 7 to 8 hours a day and absorbed 6 subjects, took tests on those subjects, and you never hear anybody whining in school about overwhelm or them not being able to do it. They're taking the courses. Now, everybody didn't make the A's, but most kids got through the classes and learned. You can learn what it takes to do business online. But I'm not going to tell you that you don't need experience or a product or technical skills or any of those things. If you got a bunch of money and you can pay everybody else to do everything for you, the truth is you've still got to know what to tell them to do. All right, so the seduction is you can be an idiot and you don't have to have any know-how, any background. It doesn't really matter, and you can get rich. That's the seductive part of it. You see, we all want to be accepted or admired by others, but often we don't want to put in the time, the energy, the effort required to build the type of business that legitimately produces that. And number 3, the curse of the consumer. And this is very important. I don't hear anybody talking about this, but it's one of the main leverage points of those who want to manipulate and seduce. And that is that they want to keep as many people as consumers instead of business owners and peers. Now, I stripped this from a site of a product that I just bought. It was $497 one time, and I saved $97 compared to an easy payment plan. So I went and I bought this product. Now, why did I buy it? Not in hopes of it being an answer, but instead of realizing it was an investment, a tool that I would be using in my business. You see, I bought it as an entrepreneur. I did not buy it as a consumer. A consumer is always going to consume. They're always going to buy more and more and more without thought. They are going to believe what's ever on the page, and then they're going to grab that product instead of thinking, here's my business. Will this product help me reach my business goals? You see the difference? And those who are out there selling all the crap, they really want you to stay a consumer. They don't talk about business. They don't want you to become a business owner. They don't want you to become a real entrepreneur. They want you to keep your job, to stay in the employee mindset, and to continue to buy item after item after item without becoming a peer and without ever breaking the cycle of online business failure. In other words, they want you to remain gullible. But what if you ignored all the mixed messages? What if you ignored all of the lies that are being told out there? But then you'd end up with a business MBA. I'm going to cover the 7 pillars of a business MBA. And this is really just an overview. But I'm going to give you a lot of information that you can go and research a little bit farther, and it's really going to help you separate yourself from everybody out there that's buying all the products without any sort of filter and totally as a gullible consumer. Business is this. It's a value to the market in exchange for money. It's that simple. We want to bring value to the marketplace. You've heard old adages such as find a hungry niche and fill their need. Well, that's true, but we got to take it a little bit deeper and make it more powerful than that. We don't simply want to fill the need unless that need is filled through value. See, there's a lot of people that are using the weak emotional place of people in their pain or their heartache or their frustration or their desperation, and they're twisting that to be able to make a lot of money. Instead, as a legitimate business owner, you're going to bring value to the marketplace. And that could be as an affiliate marketer. It could be through your own products. But basically, you bring value and you exchange money for it. I think about the restaurant industry. For many years, I owned a restaurant. And what was our goal? To create a great atmosphere, to serve great food. And that's what the value was in exchange for money. And as long as we produced that, we made money, right? Well, that's the same thing that's true with your business. You want to create value in the marketplace and exchange it for money. That's the legitimate way to do business. So pillar number 1 is responsibility. It's to realize that you are responsible for your own success. Now, you'll hear on a lot of websites, it's not your fault. This is a common tactic, some would say strategy, but I will say tactic used on sales pages. It's not your fault. So we want to frame it how? So the individual can escape blame, right? Well, you can't do that as a business owner. It is your fault. It is my fault. You see, if I decide to buy something that doesn't work out, nobody forced me to do it. I still bought it. It's my responsibility to run my business. Even if I get a coach, even if I ask for advice, I still have to put that in play. We live in a society and in a culture today in which people do not want to take responsibility. If they get in trouble at work, it's somebody else's fault. If they didn't make the deadline, it's somebody else's fault. If things don't go their way, it's somebody else's fault. Instead of saying, you know what, it's my fault, or I'm sorry, or I shouldn't have gone in that direction. You see, the sooner we take responsibility for our own life and for our own business, the farther ahead we get and the faster we're able to get there. And why is that so true? Because when we take responsibility, it also means that we live an examined life. When something doesn't work online, we go back and find out why it doesn't work. Instead of pointing the finger somewhere else and then allowing the blame to rest on them and move on, we can say, all right, that didn't work. It's my fault. Let me find out what went wrong, and now let me make corrections. That's a big part of business, finding out what goes wrong, making the corrections. It's a continual process that takes place. So here's the first decision you got to make in your business. Are you going to take responsibility for it? Are you going to be committed? Are you going to have the discipline? And if you're not, if you're expecting somebody else to provide everything for you and you just show up and get the check, hey, keep your job. Just stay as an employee. Often as employees, we're mad at the boss, or we feel like our paycheck isn't big enough, or whatever. But the truth is, somebody else really took the risk. Somebody else is having to shoulder all of the insurance. Somebody else is shouldering all of the taxes to make sure the payroll is done right. Somebody else is shouldering all of the marketing to make sure that there's enough leads. And often the employee does their job, but gets a check with very little risk. And we're going to talk about risk more in a minute. But as a business owner, all the responsibility is on you. And as we'll see, the risk is on you as well. And number 2 is the business plan. Your investment, your expenses, your budget, your marketing plan, your competitive analysis. Do you have that for your market? Have you done that yet? Now, if you're just getting started online, I know that you haven't. But if you've been trying to get your business up and running for 6 months or more, let's say, what's your business plan? Do you have it written out? You can go to SBA.gov and they'll help you out with a business plan. They'll give you a lot of great ideas to help you put together a competitive analysis, a budget, to understand how to invest in your business. And yet almost no one is talking about this online. They're telling you, hey, just buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. There's a lot of free resources out there. And if you don't have a business plan, I'm telling you, you're not serious about business. You're wishing upon a star, you're hoping things will fall in line, or you're just believing a lie. Now, I know you're not used to hearing that, but it's just the truth. Where's your business plan? Where's your plan? All right, you got to have it written down. You got to know your numbers. You got to know your projections. You have to know where you are now and where you plan to go and how you plan to get there. Listen, the internet is littered with people who are out there, quote, trying to do business online, but they never do because they just don't have a plan. Number 3 is risk assessment. As I mentioned earlier, one of my favorite stories about risk comes from one of my buddies who is a multi-millionaire. And he had another one of his friends asking him one day about some money he wanted to invest. He said, John, I'd like to invest some money with you. And he said, well, sure. He said, how much do you have? He says, well, I've got $100,000. What's the first thing I need to know? He said, well, you need to know there's a pretty good chance that you're going to lose your $100,000. And he said, well, I don't have $100,000 to lose. He said, then don't invest it. Business is a risk, even online business. And one of the things I love about it is it really does not take a lot of money to get started online. Quite frankly, it's about $10 for a domain name, about $20 a month for your autoresponder system, about $10 a month for your hosting, unless you're a member of Nichology, and we provide that for you free as part of your membership. But it's a risk involved. It can still not work. There are no guarantees. And when my buddy said, I don't have $100,000 to lose, and John said, listen, then don't go in, you don't need to do it. You don't need to invest it. Because there is a risk involved, regardless of what you've read, and regardless of what other people say. You actually do not hear me talk about making money a lot when it comes to my training and my teaching, because I believe that money will automatically come when we're serving the market correctly and we're following the fundamentals. And when we look at that and we look at what it's going to take to actually operate business online, our risk assessment sometimes is just time. Sometimes it's buying that product and allowing the time to actually learn how to use it and really get the most from it. Sometimes it's from releasing products that don't work. I've spent months creating products that ended up not selling much at all. And then other times I've spent just a good solid week and really blew the doors off. But the reason I don't talk about money much is because a lot of people are totally ignoring what it takes to actually get to the money. And that is setting up your site, making sure people can pay you, making sure you're building a solid audience, building a solid list. That's critical. So you got to look at your risk of what you're doing online and how much of a chance are you taking. Number 4, your investments. You got to have a domain name, Got to have some hosting. There's HostGator. Aweber's what I use for building my list, and One Shopping Cart is just one of my checkout systems. And when I look at these things, these are just investments. And I'm amazed at the number of questions that come in where people will say, where can I buy the cheapest domain names? Where can I get the cheapest hosting? Where can I get an autoresponder like Aweber except get it for free? Hey, the shopping cart's $100 a month. I can't really afford that. I want to do affiliates. I want to do two-tier stuff, but I really can't afford $100 a month. First of all, let me say this. You're either going into business or you're not. You're just playing around. All right? Hopefully that didn't sound just too gentle. Don't play around. You've got to go into business if you're serious about it. And the money we're talking about investment-wise is really not that much. Now, here's the amazing thing. A lot of the same people who will complain and whine about spending $20 a month on Aweber will also be the people who will buy one of these big $2,000 guru products. Can you believe that? I've seen it over and over and over again. And why is it? Let's go back to the business plan, because most don't even have a budget. They've not even budgeted things, and so they will buy the dream and the hope like crazy. Some big product launch comes along and Gullible's Travels hits and they buy everything and they've spent $500, $600, $1,000, $2,000. And then they'll say, but I just can't spend $10 a month for hosting. That's just crazy talk. Listen, if you're around people like that, or if you're in forums where people are talking like that, those are not business people. Those are wannabes. Those are opportunity seekers. They're not entrepreneurs. They're not business owners. And you have got to separate yourself from them, because that type of thinking will kill you. When you justify a $2,000 purchase and you can't do the critical investment of like $20 a month to build your email list, that's crazy. It's crazy talk. It just doesn't even work. So write down your investments, your monthly investments that you're going to need every single month to operate your business. What are your operating investments? You've got to know those. And then if it's not in your operating budget, those are things that you either don't need, such as the $2,000 product, or something that you want to save up for and you believe that you can add later on. Maybe it's part of your education. So here I've just got the homepage of Nicheology at the time of this recording. And Nicheology is $29.95 a month, extremely inexpensive. And I'd be amazed to tell you the number of people who are like, $29.95 a month, I don't know if I want to commit to that. What, a $2,000 product? I'll get it. What is your education process? I do believe part of your budget, whether it's Nicheology or whether it's another site online, that you've got to budget your education. You've got to continue to grow without being gullible. I've bought thousands upon thousands of books. I spend tens of thousands of dollars every year on my personal education, but I'm not doing it in hopes of this being the answer. I'm doing it instead to strengthen and to position me better, to become more knowledgeable, to learn some new ideas, some new strategies, to learn and utilize new tools, new software, instead of always staying right where I am. But I'm not buying anything in the belief that it is now the answer of all answers. So be smart with your education. My son Sam is about to start his college education. We just paid the bill for the fall semester. Pretty wild. A lot of money. But why are we doing it? For education. Is he guaranteed to get a job? No. Is he guaranteed to make money? No. But I know that he's guaranteed that by the end of his college, he will have knowledge that he will be able to apply in certain fields. You need to acquire knowledge that you'll be able to apply in your niche, in your marketplace. It's critical if you want to be successful. Number 6 is assets. This is another thing you don't hear a lot of these creeps online talking about. And assets are items of ownership convertible into cash. Total resources of a person or business is cash, notes, accounts receivable, securities, inventories, goodwill, fixtures, machinery, or real estate, opposed to liabilities. In other words, you want to build your business with assets. Your number one asset is going to be your list. It's going to be your audience. Because if you have, let's say, 1,000 people on your email list and your server crashes, well, you can still email those people through Aweber an affiliate offer the next day, and you've got money because you got people that listen to you and that people who want to hear from you and that you've built a relationship with. Now, on the opposite side, let's say that you've built your entire business around SEO and you're ranked number 1 on Google. It's everybody's dream for their market, and you're ranked number 1 and you're just killing it, but you're not building a list. But every day you're making sales and you feel really good because you're making money. And then one day Google's algorithm shifts and you're now on page 10. You don't have any money coming in and you can't sell it because you didn't build an asset. You simply had an income stream. And some income streams are going to be temporary. Assets you can build into permanence. Now, the asset's going to be your list. It's going to be your virtual real estate, your domain name, if it's a really solid name that you'd be able to sell at some point. Your product line. If you build your own product line, you could take that and you'd be able to sell that to other people as well. So these are assets. Things that you can turn around and sell to other people who see them as valuable. So what type of asset business are you going to build? Are you out there just trying to put up a website and you hope that you make some sales and you're going to try to sell 1,000 $27 ebooks a month? Or instead are you thinking about, you know what, I'm going to start a for real business that in 3 to 5 years after I've built it up, if I want to sell it, I can sell it and really make a lot of money. Now, the folks out there that are selling all the scams, they don't want you to build assets. In fact, they don't actually want you to build anything. They want you simply to continue to buy the next thing, continue to chase your dream without producing action. I want to challenge you to build assets, to focus on real business. And number 7 is the triangle. This is all you really need to know to build business. And at nicheology.com, I'll also give away a free video called The Secret of the Lot Triangle. It goes into this in a lot greater detail. But understand that if you're doing this right here, this is all you really need to be successful, and you will build an incredible business and a strong asset. Number 1, you've got to have traffic to your website or to your blog. Number 2, you've got to collect the names of the people who come to your blog. You don't simply, or to your website, you don't simply want to give out information and never get a person's name or email address. You've got to get that because you've got to have a way to contact them and to create permission marketing. You also want to build a long-term relationship with them. Listen, there will become a time, and if you're just getting started, this doesn't sound believable, but I bet you've actually experienced this because you've done this as a consumer. When you're on a person's email list and you really know them, you like them, you trust them, then when they release a new product, there's times when you never even read the sales letter. You just go and buy it because you know it's good. You know that you're going to be better off because you bought it. It's not one of these scams. It's not a trick, but instead it's valuable information. It's going to help you grow your business. That same thing is going to happen to you when you build your audience. So the next time you release a product, boom, there's sales immediately. Because you've done business right. You've done it ethically. You've built a real business instead of simply trying to make a sale. And then there's the offers. So you got traffic that comes into your site. You get the name and the email opt-in from those who visit your site. And then over time, you present offers to them that match the need of your audience. Now, basically, I teach that there's 3 different audience members. Number 1, there's the desperate. It's the person who's got to have an answer right now. Second, there's the determined, those who have failed often but believe that this time is going to be different. And finally, there's the dedicated. It's those who are going to be in this market for the long term. You're always going to have all three of those in your business, and you have to market to all three. I want to caution you, don't take advantage of the desperate. They're the most susceptible. So with the desperate, you want to give them something that is valuable and will lead to their betterment. Now, I know you already believe that, but I just want to make sure that I stress it. And so your offers that you make are going to be targeting the desperate, the determined, those who really want to make it to the next level, and then the dedicated. I consider myself in online business and leadership and communication the dedicated. These are areas and niches that I will be in the rest of my life. It's where I will study, I will spend time and energy, and it's where I love to study and I love to share those discoveries. All right, so those are often the types of offers that I make. So traffic, opt-in, and offers. So think about what we covered. Gullible's travels, Gullible. Don't get fooled by everything out there. Then your business MBA. Understand what it really means to create a real business. And as we conclude, the word that most people don't like to hear, as I actually said it just then, work. People don't really like this word because most people want to come online and believe that they're going to be sitting in that hammock, sucking that coconut milk through the straw and just collecting checks, checking their email all day long and nothing but money's running in. The truth is you got to work. A lot of people say that they want to quit their job because they're tired of working. Well, here's news. I want to look around you. Most people at their job aren't working. And so when they come online and they try to make money, they can't because they're having to do something they've never done. Work. However, if you already work, if you got a good work ethic, if you're the type person that loves to do good work and likes to get rewarded for it, then you need to start your own online business. If you're known as being lazy, you don't work hard at work, you complain about your paycheck, you don't think they're paying you enough for the nothing that you don't do, then you don't need to go into online business. You need to try to keep your job if you can. Chances are you could be getting fired. And now let me talk to another select group. We're in a challenging time making this recording with the economy. There's a lot of people who are out of work. And I want to challenge you, especially if you're coming online and you're looking at this as the possibility for you making an income because you're unemployed. Well, I want to challenge you to go through the tutorials that I've created to help you set up your own online business for free. You don't have to buy anything. And I want you to educate yourself. I don't want you to go out there buying all the scams and all the magic bean products out there. But instead, I want you to sit down, go to the SBA.gov site, and I want you to work through a business plan and really decide on the market that you want to serve and where you want to create value. It doesn't mean that you got to create your own product. It could be that you really love the weight loss industry and you're going to be out there really helping people focus on losing weight in a very healthy way. Or maybe you love golf and you want to help people learn to play golf more effectively. That's fine. There's a lot of money to be made in those types and other various niches. So you don't have to be the expert or the authority. You can simply be a person out there really working hard to make sure that the marketplace receives the best information. But if you are unemployed, I want you to guard your pocketbook and I want you to make wise decisions. I want you to go ahead and create your business plan and decide on the market that you really want to serve and how you want to make a legitimate business. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to or to watch, if you're watching this on video, the Income Initiative, what it really takes to get here, what it really takes to make money online, what it really takes to create a legitimate business. And if you feel like you have what it takes and that you're willing to put forth the effort, be sure to visit me at nicheology.com. Opt in for my 7 free reports you'll see there on the home page. And also on the left-hand side under the 411, you'll see some links that say first online business blog, some things along those lines. Click those. That's where some free training is. You will have to opt in order to get that training, but that shouldn't hold you back. That's way better than paying $2,000 for a course, don't you believe? And I'm not going to be holding anything back. If you'll follow those steps, step by step, you will be able to get your business up and running online. I can't guarantee that anybody will make money, but but I can guarantee that you can start an online business. Until next time, this is Paul Evans, CEO of Nicheology, the founder of the Profit Academy, and as always, success is not an accident.